is so real, and I love the way that she makes me feel. And if I am a reflection of her, then I must be love from above. No other love. She is the truth, that she is so real, and I love the way that she makes me feel. No, I said no, no. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. I said, oh, no.
What it do, squad? I feel like I'm always in my car when I feel like I want to record. But this video is gonna be about my coming out story. I mean, it's really not much of a story, but I guess it's pretty much just how I came out, I guess. I don't know. And I asked Sasha if she wanted to do this with me, but she was like, you know, her story is not as exciting, or I mean, my shit ain't exciting neither, but like, her story is really not as big, I guess, as interesting or whatever, because she really, like, she didn't really come out. She just kind of like told her friends and her family or whatever that she was talking to a girl. So, you know, but she didn't like actually tell anybody, you know, like, I'm gay, you know, I'm coming out the closet, whatever. But anyway, so my story, I think I came out, I don't know, 2009 maybe 2007 or something, I don't know. But so I can remember like doing things where now I know that, okay, that was some super gay shit, but like when I was doing it, it was kind of like, okay, we doing this or whatever. So like when I think, and if I keep looking around, it's because I'm sitting in the parking lot and, you know, people walking around and driving or whatever. But as far as I can remember, it's like 3rd grade.
Damn!
Yeah, 3rd grade. How old are you in 3rd grade? Damn, that's a pretty long time. But elementary school. Yeah, there was this one friend that I had. I won't say her name. I won't even give her a fake name or whatever, but she was like pretty much my best friend in 3rd grade. So, you know, we were pretty cool. So after school every day, like, she would come over my house, and clearly she was a little baby thought, because she was like more advanced than me. Bruh, you ain't got to zoom through a damn parking lot. Anyway, so anyway, one day after school, this girl, she needs a name. What can I name her? Damn. Okay, so she's not gonna have a name, y'all. She's just nameless. So she like, sometimes she would have to pick up her little brother from school, so it would be me, her, and her little brother walking to my house after school or whatever. So like one day we were home, I mean, we were at my house and we were in my room, we were chilling. I don't know what the hell we were doing, but out of nowhere she asked me like if I wanted to play house or some shit. And if you are like around my age, you know what playing house means. Like, usually there's a mother and a father and maybe you got a couple kids or whatever. But in this house there was no father, because, you know, we were 2 girls, and the brother, he was like younger, like he was our kid. So I was the daddy and she was the mother. But we played house this one day, and, you know, okay, so that's a whole nother story. Like, if you want to hear about that story, let me know in the comments, because it doesn't have anything to do with my whole coming out story. So But basically, I brought it up because, like, I remember, I don't know that I was necessarily attracted to girls back then. It was just something that after the first time, I liked it. Like, and I was always looking. Like, because I was a kid. Like, I didn't know what I was attracted to in 3rd grade. Like, I'm a youngin'. Don't judge me. I mean, even if you do, I don't care. But I was a thot. Y'all. Okay. Anyway. Fast forward till I'm 19. And at 19, I was actually in a relationship. Like, I was in my own place. We lived together. It was with a guy. So I was curious, I believe. At this time, like, when I met this guy, I introduced myself as being bisexual. And I really feel like today, I feel like that was just my way of kind of, you know, like, accepting the fact, okay, bitch, you like chicks. So, I used to, like, I worked during the day, he worked at night. So I was pretty much home by myself all night long. So basically, the first time I ever did anything with a female, I was 19 years old. Bam, that's that. So after I did that, it was just like, I really feel like this is who I am. And I don't know that it was about the sex, because I mean, I don't know that having sex with a female is what made me feel like, okay, I'm gay. Because like I said, all the way back in 3rd grade, there was something there. So I knew it was there. And I lived my life like how I was supposed to. Like, I had maybe 2 or 3 boyfriends, and they were all like like, not girly, but they weren't like rough or whatever. Like, most of my boyfriends they had like pretty eyes, real pretty long hair. Like, I dated pretty boys, and I was young, so it really wasn't, you know, like real relationships or whatever. So clearly I had a type of woman, but because, you know, this is what you're supposed to do, you're supposed to date men. So I looked for boys that looked like the girls that I wanted to date, if that makes sense. So fast forward a couple years, I met this woman. I was about, I want to say maybe 20. I was like early 20s, like maybe 20, 21 or 22. And I had met this woman who was, I think, 12 years older than me. And we met, like, back then, it was like, when they used to have chat rooms and, you know, like party lines, I think people call them. But we met on one of those, and it was really out of boredom, because again, you know, I'm always home by myself. So on my end, it was really like, you know, I'm bored and I don't want to talk to guys, because I got one of those. So I was just looking for women. We started chatting or whatever. Sorry. I love this CD, y'all. This is Black Asset again. Anyway, what was I saying? This video is gonna be so all over the place. Y'all, I'm so bad at these. Okay, so we were talking or whatever, and she knew that I had a boyfriend. I believe she told me she had a girlfriend when we met. She did tell me she had a girlfriend. But okay, so y'all, that was the hospital calling me. I gotta go pick up my grandmother, so I'll be right back. That was definitely quicker than I thought it would be. So if you see me again and I'm in a different spot to finish my story, it's because I done dropped her off and I'm back at home. So I'll check you guys when I get there. Okay, so first of all, let me just say, I ended up not going back home. I came to my mother's house. So if this video and even the audio is kind of shitty, it's because, you know, I'm not at home and I don't have my usual setup or whatever. This is probably going to be the worst coming out video in the history of YouTube, but whatever, I don't care. So as I was saying, me and this woman, we talked online for, you know, a little bit. Well, I mean, not online. We talked on the phone for a little bit, and then we decided, you know, let's just exchange numbers. So, and at this point, by the time we had gotten this close, the guy who I was with, like, we weren't technically together. We were living together, but like, I would sleep upstairs, he would sleep downstairs. That's irrelevant. But me and this girl were talking for about, I want to say like 8 or 9 months, or maybe a year even. And I had moved out from with the guy, moved to a whole nother state with family or whatever, and we, you know, we just got even tighter, you know, because I didn't have to worry about I guess it was like kind of out of respect because, you know, we lived together, but I was just like, you know, we talked all night, but it wasn't like, I didn't like ignore the guy who I was living with, because we were really good friends. So it wasn't like, you know, I was ignoring him just to talk to this woman who I've never met at this point. So like, once I had moved out and we were, where's my light? And we were no longer living together, you know, me and this woman, we had, you know, gotten closer. So I ended up coming back home, and I was staying with my mother for a little bit, and even still talking to this woman every day, all day. I don't know, something in me just made me feel like this feels like more than, you know, a friendship. And I don't know, maybe she was just really emotional and clingy or whatever. And I don't know, I just kind of like picked up on it or whatever. So I just made the decision that I want to tell my mother about this woman, because although all of my friends were gay and my mother knew this, I didn't want her to feel like, you know, that this woman was just another one of my friends. Like, I would talk to my mother about her. I would talk to, like, you know, a couple of my friends about her. So, you know, I just didn't want my mother to feel like, you know, oh, this is just another one of her gay friends. So, I don't know. But when I moved in with my mother at this point, I wasn't working. And I was out of school. I was like 21 or 22 years old. So, you know, I was out of school. So I waited. Like, I was up all night debating like how I was going to tell my mother. And like what the hell I was going to tell her. Like, I didn't know if I was going to tell her I think I'm gay, or, you know, bisexual, or I didn't know what the fuck I was going to tell her. So I didn't sleep that night. And I was like, okay, it's no way I could tell her this to her face. So I took the punk way out and I sent her an email. Like, I typed up the email while I was up in the middle of the night. So, I mean, I basically came out to her and was just like, you know, I almost said her name. You know, so and so is not just one of my friends. You know, we're actually like considering dating. Which brings me to, you know, I'm bisexual. You know, it was nothing major at all. And so she didn't respond. Like, first of all, let me say, this particular day, me and my mother were really close, or we were like working towards becoming really close. So like we were in a good space at this point. So like that day, she had been calling me all day, like we just for nothing. Like we would just talk, laugh and joke or whatever, like on her break, or I don't know, while she was working or whatever. Like she would just call randomly. So every time the phone rang, it had me so freaked out because I didn't know, like, did she read the email? Is this why she calling this time? Blah blah blah. So she called like several times that day, and it was never about my email. So I'm like, okay, is she ignoring me, or is, you know, she just okay with it? Or I'm thinking like, okay, I just came up with this really big news to my mother, who by the way I'm now living with, and you know, she's totally cool with it. Like I was so confused. So I was thinking, you know, we good. But this final phone call came through, and like all the other ones, I was scared shitless to answer it because I didn't know like what this phone call was about. So when I answered the phone the last time, she was like, yeah, I got your little email, so you might want to, you know, check your inbox. And I'm like, oh shit. So I checked my email, and this is a long email. She goes into, you know, like, how could you do this? Like, you're being such a disgrace to the family. And she told me like I was going to hell, I believe. I want to say she told me I was going to hell. Keep in mind, my family, like the older generation, they're pretty religious. So like I would expect something like this from them. But my mother, I mean, she's not atheist or anything like that, but she's not as, you know, religious as, say, my grandmother and my great-grandmother. So I'm like, what? Like, okay. So she asked me, like, how long have you been doing this nasty shit? And like, and I'm like, woman, I haven't done anything. Like, I mean, I didn't tell you I did anything. So I don't know. Like, after that, she also told me, she was like, you know, that's a disgrace, and I don't know where this nasty shit came from, and I don't ever want to talk about it again. I don't want to hear about it again. I'm just not going to discuss it. But she did end up telling me, you know, even in the same email, she did end up telling me that, excuse me, that I'm her daughter, you know, that no matter what, she'll love me, blah, 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 you know, the shit that they have to say. So she told me that, but she was just like, you know, we are not to bring it up again. So I'm like, okay, cool. Yeah. So, of course, I was nervous the rest of the day for what would happen when she came home. And surprisingly, when she came home, we legit did not bring it up again. Like, she came home like it never even happened. It was the freakiest thing of my life at that point. And I was like, oh, okay. I guess I feel better, you know. But the thing about it is, the bisexual versus gay thing, that actually never, it never even happened, because I just went, like, once I got older and I was like taking care of myself, I was living on my own, like I didn't have to answer to anybody. It was just like, this is me. Like, it doesn't have to be spoken. You know what I mean? So that was just it. Like, I didn't have to do another come out situation, because I think they kind of like just knew. Because once I was comfortable letting my mother know, and I feel like I was cool, you know, my friends were good, and I felt like I wanted my parents to know, like the people most close to me, most close, whatever, you know, the people closest to me, I just felt like as long as they know, and when all of them know, then I'll be good, and anybody else just doesn't even matter. But so I came out to my mother. I came out in an email. I came out as bisexual. I don't know how my father found out, but let me say. So for like some years, my mother, we really didn't talk about it, and like she would meet some of the females who, you know, I dealt with or whatever. Not like a, hey mom, this is so and so, you know, this is my girlfriend. Like, I've never introduced anybody to my mother as my girlfriend. Shit, I only introduced my mother to one guy as my boyfriend. But so she never like met anybody as my girlfriend. She never even met the woman who, you know, caused me to come out. And I feel like when people say, you know, people are put into your life for a reason, I feel like this woman was definitely, like, her purpose was to force me out of my comfort zone and to make me realize who I really was. Because, like, for a long time I just felt like, okay, I'm attracted to women, you know, sex with women is great, but I would never be in a relationship with a woman. And I lived like that for years. Like, I truly believe, because I've never had, I had never had, you know, any emotional attachment to women. It was pretty much a physical thing. And for some years I was, you know, a little, like I said in the beginning, I was a little thot. And wow, for whatever reason, the women that I dealt with, they developed these emotional attachments to me, but it was never there. Like, on my end, it was never there. It was really like all about the physical for me. But I think the purpose for this woman was, you know, so that I could realize that I was someone who could have emotional attachment to women and to show me who I really was. So that was that. Yeah, it took my mother a really long time to accept it. And I don't know how my father found out, because I did not tell him directly. But this ninja, we talked about it one day, and I think it was me, him, and my mother. We were having a discussion, and it just came up. And this ninja tells me, oh, I knew. And I was like, oh, how did you know? Like, when the hell did you know? I still don't know how he knew, but whatever. So, who was that? My mother, my father, my friends. I think the main people who I was concerned about knowing was my mother, my father, and my two grandmothers, and my godmother, who was pretty much like a second mom to me. She found out. I don't think it was a surprise to her. But I think I was more concerned about her finding out than I was my mother. So it was harder for me to tell my godmother. But So my grandmother, I want to say, and I'll probably never really know the answer to this, but I want to say my grandmother knew. I think she knew for like a long time. And the thing about it is, if you know me, then it shouldn't have been like a hard thing to figure out. Like, if you know me personally, and I'm not saying that like I did all these super gay things, but it's just like, I don't know. I don't know why these people should have known, but they really should have. And I feel like my grandmother knew for a long time, because although I never had a sit down to tell her like, look, this is this and that, and I feel like maybe she had an idea, but she was scared to tell me up until, I want to say, around the time me and Sasha had like first started dating. Oh, this is what happened. This is why my grandmother ended up wanting to talk to me about this. So I think towards the beginning, in the beginning of me and Sasha's courtship, my mother had a problem. Like, she wasn't comfortable with this person having all my time. And the same thing with my grandmother. When this new chick came about, and now all my time is being taken. So I think this was around the time my mother had gotten upset with me because I chose to do something with Sasha instead of come over her house or something stupid. So I think it probably like came out as she was talking to my grandmother. In her rage, she was probably, I can't even imagine what she said, but so I think my mother put that bug in my grandmother's head or whatever. And so my grandmother called me and wanted me to come over and wash her hair or something. And it was kind of like a, if you can find time, can you do this or whatever? So I'm like, oh shit. So I go over there and I'm washing her hair, and then I'm braiding her hair or whatever. And I was waiting for it. Like, the whole time I'm waiting for it. Like, why are we taking so long to get to the point of why I'm really here? So then she was just like, do you have something you want to tell me? And I'm like, what do you mean? And then she was like, just, do you have something that you want to tell me? And I was like, what, that I have a girlfriend, or that Sasha is my girlfriend? And she was like, oh, so she is your girlfriend. And I'm thinking to myself, nigga, you knew this already. Hey, wait, where's my phone? Okay, my camera just did something real dumb. I don't know what happened, but it blinked out. But so my grandmother was like, so is this who you are, or is this like a phase? And I'm like, no, this is who I am. This is who I've been, for a really long time now. And she was like, well, I kind of thought that. And then she was like, but, the whole, you're my granddaughter, I still love you, whatever, but I don't condone it. Nobody condones. Do they? I don't know, but she was just like, I don't condone it. So, after that, it took her a little while to deal with it. But, eventually she got over that as well. So, the only person who still I have not told is my great-great-grandmother. Y'all, I still have my great-grandmother alive. But anyway, as far as I know, she doesn't know. And I'm okay with that, unlike everybody else. Like, I felt like everybody else needed to know. But yeah, this is one person that, I don't know. I don't think I'm gonna have that talk with her. But so, anyway, that was, how I came out to everybody in my family. At this point, I'm very comfortable with my family. My family is very comfortable with me. Everybody accepts me, whether they, had their own personal opinions about it or not, which I'm sure they do, and they are very much entitled to them. As long as you don't bring them to me, then I'm okay. Like, I'm fine. I'm on my own. I live my life for me, and my happiness is what matters in the end. So, you know, I'm good. And I just want to say that to those who are maybe thinking about coming out, the best advice that I can give somebody who is considering it is, first of all, make sure that you prepare yourself. Like, I feel like you have to be prepared within yourself to make such a big step in your life, because you don't know, like, what the outcome is going to be. Like, it was, I don't even want to say it was easy for me, because it was kind of hard during the times that, you know, those close to me were trying to adjust, and I wouldn't wish it on anybody. So you have to prepare yourself for that. I don't even know if I was prepared for it. I really don't. So make sure that you are prepared for whatever comes. Like, you could be one of the lucky ones, and, you know, it just goes smoothly for you, but a lot of times it doesn't happen. And even though it's 2017, you know, you still have parents who are stuck in their ways, and, you know, you may just get the bad end of it. So that brings me to my next piece of advice. Make sure that if you get the bad end of this deal, that you can take care of yourself. And I mean, like, financially. Make sure that if you live under the roof of someone who pretty much is taking care of you, regardless of how old you are, if you are dependent on someone else, make sure that you are able to make the change from, you know, being dependent to being independent, because that a lot of people end up homeless and stuff like that for, you know, coming out to family whose roofs they're living under. And make sure you're mentally prepared. Make sure you're financially prepared to take care of yourself completely on your own. Be disowned. Like, sometimes that happens as well. Just make sure you're ready. And also, do it on your own terms. But at the same time, don't remain closeted because you are afraid of what happens. You know, you just have to be strong-minded and realize that you live for yourself, and at some point you got to worry about what makes you happy. I promise you, like, my life has been so much more fulfilled since, you know, I've come out. And it's, I don't know, it's so weird. Like, it's not even about, oh, I can be gay, because I mean, like, nobody chooses to be gay. Like, I don't think, I mean, the little baby thoughts might choose to be gay these days, but like, I don't think anybody chooses to be gay because of the shit that you have to go through when people know that you're gay. You know what I mean? So I don't know, that's my advice. If I think of anything else, I'll probably put it in the comments, but I mean in the description. But in the comments below, let me know what's your coming out stories, or I don't know, just throw it in the comment section and let's chat about it. But for now, that's pretty much it. That's my coming out story. Also, let me know if you want to know about, you know, back in the day when I was a little, you know, little fast ass in 3rd grade. Hope my mother doesn't start watching my videos. But anyway, if you want to know Sasha's story, put that in the comments so that she can see it, and she'll be, you know, tempted to do a video of her story. So, all right, later guys.